All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome back
Hey.
to this channel. Today, we are back on Open Shutter, and we are going to talk about how to edit your videos for YouTube. We're just going to give you some tips and tricks to make your workflow easier, and share some of the mistakes we've done in the past as well. Well, we're not videographers per se, but we have done a lot of videos. Even one of us has posted over 150 videos to YouTube.
Who is that?
That is some
Who is that
commitment
person?
right there.
Guess who that is?
Who is that? Get him on the show. Get him on the show.
We need him to take over this show. Right?
Who is the most committed guy on this live show?
Yep.
All right. So I'm going to start with introduction and then we'll go around the room. All right. My name is Salom. Business name is Meek Photos, and I'm a wedding and portrait photographer. And yeah, stay tuned.
That's it. This is a 30-second elevator pitch. Welcome back to the show, guys. Thanks for jumping on a Wednesday. Is this the last Wednesday of the month? Yes, it is. Because
It is.
crazy, time's flying. And thanks everyone for jumping on again. And if you guys don't know who I am, my name's Paul. I'm in Toronto, Canada. Run a photography meetup group called Get Out Shoot. Visit us at getoutshoot.com. If you're in Toronto, we do weekly meetups of random things, and it's a lot of fun. You get to meet a lot of cool people like Brian and Evans here. So yeah, check us out, and looking forward to the discussion.
Awesome, guys. My name is Evans. My Instagram handle is right there, Iba46. I'm also based in Toronto. I'm a wedding filmmaker, photographer, and a YouTuber as well. So we've got some experience to share with you guys today on how you can, improve your video on YouTube.
Hi, Kim.
Okay. Awesome.
Brian,
What about
Brian's
me?
gotta go.
I didn't get to say.
Oh, Brian, are you even here? Are you even here? Oh.
It's always about you guys. No,
Always about you.
I got nothing to say. I got nothing to say. No, I
You should
don't.
plug your book. You should plug your book.
Thank you, everyone, that helped me during my time of need. As you know, a couple of weeks ago, or maybe you don't know, all my things were stolen, and so many of you helped me out. And thank you again. I don't know if I said that last week or not, but thank you again. I'm back. I'm shooting. I'm good.
Brian's crushing it. Mr. Brian James on the internet.
Just Google me.
He's on. Yes,
All right.
yes.
Let's do this.
Cool.
Today's show is brought to us by the Yeti.
All
right.
Yes.
If you're not Yeti, you're just warm
Not.
spaghetti.
Okay, Eminem.
Jack in the Box.
Jack and Block. Yeah, we don't have that in Canada.
We don't have that, no.
I don't think we have it.
Blue water bottle from Costco.
No one's having a Tim Hortons coffee. Wow.
This is a photography show, ladies and gentlemen. I swear to God. But we'll take sponsorship wherever we can.
Wherever we can, man. Yeah. All right. So the first question I'm going to throw out there, and if anybody wants to jump on it, just feel free. Is do you shoot to edit, or do you just shoot and then go sit down and figure out the edit?
Yeah, it's a great question. I don't know who's on this chat and actually does video. So I didn't go to video school. Obviously, that's pretty obvious. And I think when you first start out, I don't think you can shoot at it because you don't know how to do it. You just shoot stuff, and then you try to piece it together. Obviously, the key is to shoot to edit, because when you do that, everything is planned. So when you go to edit, everything's kind of laid out for you to edit, versus the other way where it's kind of like a mess and you have to piece something together. I don't know. When I started, I just shot everything, and it wasn't pretty. So I think it's a practice thing. It's an experience thing. I think really what you really need to do is what kind of story do you want to tell, and you have to tie that footage around the story. That's kind of one piece of advice I would give, is what is the story? Kind of like a photo. What is the subject of the photo? What is the story that you want to tell? And then kind of tie the footage around that story.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense.
For me, I mean, I think I've had the luxury of watching you guys and some other. I spend countless downtime watching other YouTubers and learning how they make films and vlogs and videos and like that. So I try to plan mine out a little bit more, but man, sometimes I just wing it as well. But I will say, like, one small thing that I've started doing now is just to make my transitions easier. If I'm doing like B-roll and I'm taking my camera from left to right or whatever it is in your screen,
and then you
and
pass the
behind
dark.
a tree, then I remember, okay, my next shot, I want to come out from dark to light in the same direction. Instead of having to go in the footage, reverse it, because then it could look wonky if someone's walking forward and instead they're walking backwards, and that doesn't make sense. You can't use it. So that's about the extent of my planning, other than the storytelling, I think.
Yeah. So for me, when it comes to my YouTube stuff, until recently, I never really planned my YouTube stuff. I just shoot and then I edit. But in the last couple of weeks, I've started shooting less and more of the fact that I'm planning out my shots a lot more, in the sense that I look at the video I'm going to do. Well, especially when it's B-roll stuff. So when I'm doing product reviews and stuff, now I'm thinking more about the final edit before I start shooting. So I'm thinking about how I'm going to shoot and what I'm going to put in there. But when it comes to weddings, when I'm shooting weddings, I actually do plan out my shoot for the whole day. So I know that in the getting ready section, I want to get this shot, I want to get that shot, I want to get that shot. Because I don't want to come home at the end of a wedding day and have 100 gig of files to go through, where I'm only going to use maybe 5 gig of them. Right? So I shoot more towards the edit. And because I've been shooting weddings for a long time, I kind of figure out what the key shots that I need to grab from each wedding. So I grab those key shots, especially the getting ready and all that stuff, and the reception stuff. And then all the rest at the reception will be the dancing and the other stuff. That's fine. But for YouTube, I'm planning more. So if I want to edit, I want to think about how I'm going to cut together all that video. And like Brian said, you got to keep in mind the flow, the direction of flow, right? So I want to keep that direction of flow, but at the same time, I want to make sure that most of the shots that I shoot, I will be using.
Definitely.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yes. So you guys have pretty much said everything. But my favorite thing was what Brian said about the in-camera transitions. They make your life a lot easier. There are several types of in-camera transitions. You can Google them, and when you get those ones down, your editing time is almost cut in half, and your workflow is just looks smooth and natural. None of those fake, transitions. So just bear that in mind. And like Paul said too, you have to have a story. You have to have a plan. And,
like
and approach it that way.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's a formula for a really good YouTube video. You need like a good intro. You need a hook. You need something to get the viewer interested. You need like the build up, and then you need the payoff, like what happens at the end. So
exactly,
kind of like a basic story formula, right?
Exactly, and you have to be able to get people to wait for that payoff, and that's the audience retention. We're gonna get there in a second. Right now, but so I have a question for the three of you. Do you guys script your videos, or do you just wing it?
I make bullet point notes, and then I forget about them. I make points that I want to get to, but I mean, I don't know. When you get to like a vlog format, especially when you deal with other people, you don't really have any control over what's going to happen. And then when something happens, like the shoot with Evans on Friday at Kerncliffe, like that went a totally different direction of where I wanted to go with it, and it worked out better because I think it was like more interesting. So it depends on the video that you want to shoot. Like, is it going to be a sit down talk? Is it going to be a product review? Is it going to be a vlog? Is it going to be just you walking down the street? Like, there's so many different variations, right? But I don't really put notes, like scripted notes. It's more like a bullet point, so kind of like a general outline, which may or may not be good because to have a good YouTube video, you need to have a really strong outline that you need to follow, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
I mean, but if you are very popular and people want to see you drink coffee and eat biscuits, and
Yeah, but
do whatever, you just turn on
that's
the
true. But
camera.
that's very
and
rare,
you're good
though.
to go.
That's, I mean,
Yeah, but the thing is, there's still a point to those videos. So I mean, Peter McKinnon, we
Yeah.
watch him we'll watch for 2 minutes while he sips on his coffee before he even gets to the point of the video, because he's that good, and people inherently are going to want to watch that because they want to
Probably learn
mimic
the
or
B-roll.
do
He
what
probably has a
he did.
different B-roll sequence every time he does it.
The B-roll is good. Yeah, but he's got an editing team, right? Like he doesn't even edit his own videos anymore. Pete, if you're watching this, I love you, man. I know you started off like that.
Of course he's watching. Why is it not
Believe me,
watching?
I have so much in my mind that I want to shoot and so much content I want to put out. If I had a couple of people that I were in my pocket that I paid to edit my videos, you guys would see so much content on me, but it doesn't work that way. But you know, to get back to what Paul was saying, I agree. Like in a vlog, there should be, obviously you should have a topic in mind, but you know, I agree. Like the other night I was out shooting with Mussington Photography, and we were just walking around, and I decided to just start vlogging, and we kept finding cool places to shoot. And I was like, oh man, this would be a really cool place to shoot portraits. He's like, yeah, totally. So I marked it on my map, and then I went walking further. I was like, hey, what about this? The lighting's awesome. He's like, oh, that'd be a great spot. And then I was like, I looked at the camera. I was like, I guess tonight's vlog is going to be about great places to shoot portraits at nighttime in Toronto.
That's so cool. I
And
like
then we
that.
did that for like an hour, and I had it all together, and then I formatted my card.
You did. Oh, come on, man.
What?
Oh.
What? I missed something. You formatted your card.
Formatted the card because I went through the photos, and I was like, okay, I downloaded all these, but I forgot, you know. I hope this isn't going to be a turn.
So you lost all the footage.
This isn't going to turn into a Sony joke, but you know, the Sony video files save under a different folder, and I didn't think to check that folder to make sure I got those, and then I formatted the card.
Oh man,
Oh man.
rookie
cool.
mistake number one.
It was cool in my mind, guys. It was cool in my mind.
You can always do it.
That sucks.
But like product reviews, and I don't want to steal from like Evans or Meek's time, but like in product reviews, I will write bullets, especially if there's like specs. But I mean, Evans is like, you're like, you know, leaps and bounds ahead of me. So please, I'm sure you script some of your stuff for your product reviews.
Yeah. So for product reviews, it depends. If it's something new that I'm just doing a quick overview of, and I haven't really gotten to use the product in depth, and I'm doing like a first look kind of video, I script the video because I don't want to miss out anything. However, if it's a product that I've been using for a long time and I know all the ins and outs, I do bullet points. So I put down what I want to cover in that video. I want to cover this, that, and then I just talk off my head off on those bullet points. Otherwise, I actually sometimes, when I'm doing talking head videos, I write full head on scripts, right? That I can kind of look at. So most of the time I do that. Majority of the time though, it's just talking off my head based on the talking points that I have put together.
Yeah, it's also like a practice thing. The more times you do videos and talk on camera, because no one really likes talking on camera, but the more times you do it, I think the easier it gets to kind of like nail it in one or two takes.
I still feel like though, from what I see, a lot of the successful YouTubers do have a script, or they read from a teleprompter that they use, like an app on their phone, and they have it underneath their camera. Because I find myself trying to say like 2 sentences in a row 30 times before I can get it right, and then I have like literally 9 minutes of footage for that, like 30 seconds I wanted to say. I mean, I got it right finally. You know, but
true.
Yeah, a while back, I used to have that same issue where I will say the same sentence like 10 times. But now I've really gotten used to that. At the point, I built myself my own in-house teleprompter.
You did?
I can put my iPad. Yeah, I have it sitting in the corner there somewhere. I just made a box of wood, bought some glass, put it in. And I put the script on my iPad, flip it with an app, and I'll read from it. There is a good and bad to it, right? So what I realized was that when I was completely reading off the script, I get distracted, right? And I didn't feel that connection there as much as when I have the script, but I'm not really reading off the script. But like I have the script open on the side screen, and I'm still talking off the head based on that script. So I might change a few sentences here or there, but I still have that script as a guide to what I'm doing for the day. Right. So I stopped using the teleprompter because for me, it kind of got to the point where it was distracting. But I still do script some of my videos. And even when I script them, I just, let's say, read 3 or 4 sentences. I speak it to the camera, and I can continue if I still remember. But if I forget something, I take a break, I read, and I come back and continue.
Interesting.
Okay, so I'm not the only one who shoots their video 1,000 times before. So for me, what happens is that I don't do a full script. I only do bullet points, especially if there's a product involved, because the internet will call you out. They will call you names.
What? You copy and paste it?
If you miss something, like you overlook something. So I get my bullet points, but then when I start the video, I always feel like it's too long. So then I start it again, and then the next time I know where I spend the most time, so I kind of like cut some minutes off of that, and I keep going until I have it, down to like half the time. But I'm pretty sure if I had scripted word for word, I probably would have done it in 1 or 2 takes. So that time invested might have been, but it depends on what you want to talk about. If it's a topic you are very comfortable with and you think you can just flow, the flow is always more natural.
It's always easier said than done. Like people think that they can talk on camera when the camera's actually on them. It's a totally different ballgame. Like it's just a human thing, and like you just have to like just start doing it and like not really care about the result. If you mess up, you can always retake it. It's not like you're on live television, right? So again, people here, I don't know if people here, I mean, Tony's on. Tony has a question. How important is music and sound effects for your videos? Very important.
Huge.
Sound design is a whole different ballgame. So I've been trying to do more sound design on my video just because, just try to make it a little bit better. But if you can have the right if you can have the right music and you can edit the footage to the music, it takes your video to like the next level.
Yeah. The other thing to note is that some people also most of the time focus too much on the video aspect and they neglect the audio piece, right? But don't always forget that audio is 50% of your video.
Audio is huge.
Right? Somebody can watch a video if the video is crappy and the audio is good, but your video could be really good. But if your audio is crappy, it will turn away people off.
Yeah. I mean, I just bought like an $80 Rode mic and it just improved my audio tenfold. And it's just an $80 mic, right? So plus music. I mean, there's a lot of sites now for music. Epidemic Sound, Artlist. What was the other one?
Soundstripe.
Soundstripe. Yep.
So there's a few out there that
I have a discount code for Soundstripe.
Do you use Soundstripe?
Yes.
Yeah, I use Soundstripe too.
You told me you use Soundstripe. I use Epidemic. I think Brian uses Epidemic.
Yeah.
So
and I don't want to I hate real quick. I hate to bring him up again, but I don't know if you saw recently. Peter McKinnon did a video about a 007 watch. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I saw that.
So they played. What was the company that made the Omega, like expensive ass watch, right? Like these guys make great products, and I'm sure they spent, $100,000 on this video. It was killer. I was like, wow, this video was great. I wanted to buy the watch, and then McKinnon went and did his own audio instead, and like ripped it apart. It was so much better, and I didn't even realize how much better it could be. And we're talking about a professional company that spent thousands of dollars, and then someone, with more sound design knowledge came in and just did the sound, didn't do anything else.
Little sound effects,
so much better. And so I just purchased one of those watches.
You did, eh?
No, I can't afford that. I can't afford that.
Was that from the GoFundMe?
Maybe after my book makes me tens of 20s of dollars, I will be able to.
Kobe's saying 4K 24 or 1080 120. Wow.
Huh.
Jeez, man.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Depends on what you're shooting.
So
okay.
It depends on what you're shooting. If it is a video in which I'm keeping the audio, I'm shooting 24 frames.
Okay. What's the reason?
24 frames gives you that cinematic look.
Yeah.
So if I'm in North America, we edit on a 24 frame timeline.
Mhm.
If you're in Europe, you edit on a 30 frame timeline. So the Europe guys will shoot 30p, 30 frames or 100 frames if they want to do slow mo. In North America here, I prefer to shoot everything in 24 frames per second, but not necessarily 4K, right? I have the A7 III that shoots 4K, but I don't always shoot 4K. I shoot majority, even if I shoot 4K, I still edit on a 1080p timeline for two reasons. For one, that 4K gives me twice the resolution of 1080p. So I can shoot a wide angle video in 4K. And when I bring it in to edit, I get two camera angles from that one shoot. Because I can crop it in, right, to the 1080p. I can zoom it all the way out to the 4K. And it looks like I shot that video on two different angles or two different cameras on different angles, but it's just the same angle. So basically, I shoot 4K, but I will edit on 1080p. Right. The only time I'm shooting in 120 frames per second is if I am actually doing that on purpose. Right. And because see the B-roll scene on the YouTube has now been so much overplayed with that slow-mo 120 frames per second that everybody does it without thinking about why they're doing it. So when you shoot everything at that 120 frames per second, especially on a shot that has no motion, nothing is moving in it, it doesn't really add anything to your footage. It doesn't give any impact, right? So I'll shoot 120 frames if there is motion that I want to exaggerate or I want to slow it down and I want that motion to be well captured, then I'll shoot that. But most of the time, as long as I'm on a gimbal, I'm shooting 24 frames. I will shoot 1080p. 1080p at 120 if I'm doing handheld, because of the fact that when I bring that footage in slow-mo and I slow it down, it kind of takes away some of the handheld effect, and so the video is not all shaky.
It's a good tip.
Okay,
that's a good tip. I like
one
it.
thing, you guys, I know you guys love Tony Northrup, so they when the whole 4K stuff came, they switched all their stuff to 4K. They were shooting everything in 4K, and then he was just talking about how they had to get more storage space, get a better processor, and he said he spent about $12,000 more a year just storing the footage they had and buying processing power. And he realized that on YouTube, it doesn't make that much of a difference. So after a while, he decided to just stop the 4K. And so right now, today, all his nice crisp videos you see is 1080p, and then he just exports them in 4K.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Sometimes he doesn't even export it in 4K. He just puts the 1080p. He says that like it doesn't really make a difference on YouTube, you know. And very few people are watching your videos on a 65-inch TV anyways.
They're not?
So,
they're not? What?
Huh?
Not IMAX?
They're watching your videos on the phone. On most
you haven't seen Evans in
IMAX
yet. You haven't seen Evans in IMAX yet. Watch out.
Yeah.
All right.
So for a long time, that's what I've been doing. I've been editing, even if I shoot in 4K, I'm editing on a 1080. But when I'm exporting it on 4K for YouTube.
Yeah.
What did you say there? Even for reels, I don't want to skip over that.
I didn't get that one.
Even for reels.
Kim, if you can repeat your question,
reels,
that'll be great.
Reels get views. I don't know what it is, but it goes into Instagram world and it gets views somehow. So
hey, you guys, YouTube Shorts are also a big thing. So a friend of mine just said they did this thing, but people with like less than 50 subscribers are getting like thousands of views on the shorts because apparently they are testing the algorithm for like the real kind of thing.
Do I get that?
But
everybody
I don't know,
How do I
man.
use it?
Oh,
So the thing is this: I
there's a
wanted
hack.
to get
There's a
into
hack
it.
to use it if you don't have
Yeah,
1,000.
I wanted to get into the reels, and I've been thinking about it because for my drone footage and my
Put it on.
GoPro short footage, I wanted to put them in the reels, right? In the shots, YouTube shots. But you don't get monetized for that.
No.
They don't count towards your watch
Yes,
time.
it doesn't count towards your watch time, but you
So,
get
I
subscribers
don't
from
know.
it who
Yeah.
might actually watch some of your serious videos. You
But
get
I don't know-
attention to your channel.
But I don't know if it makes sense to mix that in with your regular content though.
That's true though. Yeah, that's true.
Only one way to find out.
Yeah, do it.
Right? Okay, so
Standard.
so you guys are eating into my questions here, but I love it. So the comment section, keep bringing the questions.
Bring in the questions, Tony.
You pretty much have answered all the
Kobe.
stuff I have on the list here, Tony and Kobe. So that's good. All right, let's keep going. Log profile or standard profile, pros and cons.
Good one.
Okay, so I'm gonna start with this one. So it depends on what you are shooting. If a company hires you to shoot a commercial product for them or something, you want to shoot in log profile. You want to shoot everything. If you can shoot raw, shoot raw. You want to make it such that worst case scenario, you can send it to somebody to fix the footage for you, or you can, edit yourself out of a bad shot. But if you are just doing YouTube, if you are just doing vlogs and stuff, time is precious. It's like if you have a camera like Nikon, you don't need. Hey, come back here, bro. Come back here.
Your audio's cutting out. It's gonna go.
So standard is actually pretty good on most cameras for for just YouTube stuff. It saves a lot of time and you don't actually have to go and fix it in post and
Color grade,
color grading.
I'll disagree with that.
Go ahead.
Different on Sony cameras.
I'll disagree with that on a couple of reasons. Well, okay, let me put it this way. If you're just solely doing YouTube, right? If your whole video thing is just on YouTube, nothing else, don't worry about it. You can shoot standard for most situations. The only problem is when you start getting outdoors, right? And the goal of everybody on YouTube is you want to at any point improve your video quality. When you're shooting outdoors in bright daylight, you're going to end up being dark and your background is completely overexposed or properly exposed, right? I shoot log when I'm outside. When I'm indoors here, everything I do in here, I'm shooting standard profile because this is a controlled environment. I control all the lighting, how high or how low each of the lighting is. And so I can use standard profile without any issues because I'm controlling every single light that is in here. I can decide to turn some off, turn down some down. However, I have that full control. And so I'm retaining the full dynamic range of my standard profile on my camera. When I get outside and I shoot either S-Log, but right now I'm moving away from S-Log and sticking with HLG. And that's because when I'm outside, I want to capture as much dynamic range as I can so that my highlights are not blown or the subject is not too dark. And that's the problem with standard profiles when you shoot them outdoors in a sunny day.
Right.
So that's where I would agree with sticking with standard.
With a good dynamic range, right? You know what I'm talking about? You probably don't use the Sony.
Sony has the best dynamic range when it comes to all the cameras. But still, I would shoot log or HLG when I'm outside. Right? Because especially in a backlit situation, right? It's just like shooting photos. Why do we add flash outdoors? Right? Just to control the backlight and balance it out with the light on the subject.
I'm not disagreeing with you. All I'm saying is I agree with you. But it's like,
I do whatever Evans tells me to do.
All right. Well, Okay, let's answer some of the other questions here. Tony has a very interesting
Yeah. Mandatory to be on YouTube. You gotta be on social media somehow. It doesn't have to be YouTube, but you gotta be
You don't
somewhere.
have to be on YouTube.
You gotta be somewhere. To be, I mean, for a photographer, there's just so many out there on YouTube. You gotta be really, I don't know.
Does Annie Leibovitz have her own YouTube channel?
Probably not.
She does, but she only
does.
puts up one video every 2 years.
Yeah, she
One
has
video every
like
2 years.
Yeah.
So no, I would say no, Tony, you don't. But you're gonna need people to see your work.
You need to show your work somewhere.
Is YouTube the best place to promote yourself as a photographer? I don't know. Like
I don't think so.
I think
unless you're promoting yourself to other photographers. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it is unless you have a photography channel. But if you're a photographer, like I know I can't make all my videos can't be about my photos, because you could simply go to my Instagram and look at my photos, or go to my website, and if you like something, you can order it. But you don't have to go to YouTube to watch me taking a photo. However, as far as photography is concerned, why do we follow other photographers? Because we want to see how they shoot. And so we learn their processes or processes if you're from Canada, and we get tips and tricks from these people. But as far as marketing yourself as a photographer, I don't think you need to be on YouTube personally.
I don't think
Because
it's
none of your clients are gonna go check out your YouTube to hire you. They probably will just look at your Instagram or your website, portfolio, but never really say, "Oh, are you on YouTube?"
Video could be different.
Yeah,
right, Evans. Video could be different. That's why I put up a video of I call it a video portrait, but it's basically modeling, but to music and slow. And so I put that out there as an advertisement, and it's worked. And so I've had people reach out to me. I just shot my second one the other day. So for videos, I would say, use it as another way to put out your portfolio. But for photography, I don't think you need to. I would rather see you put your stuff on stock photography sites and Instagram and Facebook and there's another one out. We can't recall. There's a few big platforms for photos.
But if you are a photographer, it doesn't mean you can do video, but it doesn't mean that you have to promote your video on YouTube as well. You can still put your video on Instagram. Instagram has the reels, they have the stories, right? So you can make short videos. And I always encourage every photographer to at least learn a little bit of video.
Yeah.
Right. And you can promote yourself, do your own videos, your own promotional videos and stuff. Share them on Instagram, share them on Instagram stories, even on IG, what do you call it? The reels, right? Other stuff, but not necessarily YouTube.
Yeah, it's not mandatory.
Right. It's not mandatory, but here is it has some advantages, Like for example, the other day I booked a couple, and what happened was we were talking, and then they're like, okay, they asked for my Instagram. So when they hit my Instagram, they saw the YouTube link there. So she clicked on it, and then she was like, "Oh, you have a YouTube channel? Oh, you teach photography on there?" And then the fiance was like, "Oh, he must be good then." that was it. I mean, the fact that it looks like you are teaching it on there, means it looks like you know a little bit more about the subject. But I mean, that shouldn't be your goal. But for me, it has helped me structure myself in certain ways. Like I made a video about off-camera flash, and I put all the steps down. And funny enough, I have been going by those steps, and it has actually made my workflow very streamlined. So
interesting.
There is that too. And Kim said something. She said we can remove the short video from your feed.
You can choose
on YouTube or Instagram.
The reels, you can choose to keep the reels on your feed or not. So your photo grid remains the same. You can choose for the reel to be on the grid or not. Or separate reels on your photo.
Some of mine I removed because they don't fit with my colors. Like the Halloween we did the other day. Like
I don't know. They get views somehow. They get views. Like I'm average over 1,000 views on these reels. I don't know. I have no idea how it's happening.
Oh wow.
That's what they want to put, right? Because this is their new feature. So take advantage. Like I mentioned to you guys 9 weeks ago. Like, this is new. We got to get on it. And yeah, so might have done well too. They're starting to taper off. It depends. But it is going to perform. You're going to get more traffic to your reels for now, but that's going to change, I'm sure, at some point. But I think they made it now. So the reels, I just updated my phone. I think your reels can be 15 or 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's right.
Or 30 seconds.
But Kim mentioned about something about matching up the music, and I would totally agree. You see a lot of people doing that. You try to get the beat drops maybe when you do that's how I do it, like when I do my picture reveal. But I know when you do sound effects, there's a way you can put your sound effects over top of the video, and the video's kind of like at 50% shading, so you know exactly when to put those sound effects. However, what I haven't mastered yet is getting my music to line up in some kind of easy way. So I literally play it, I go to my music, and then I adjust it by a few seconds, go backwards, listen to the whole damn thing again, wait for that beat to drop, and realize I missed it by 1 second. I go back, I try to slide it over. I haven't figured out an easier way to do that yet, except for edit in Adobe Premiere and then drop it in there like that. Right. However, I've done that once before too with a song, which was also on Instagram as a recommended song for me. And then Instagram sent me a message and said, this video can't be played in India, Venezuela, Peru, and Brazil.
All your markets, man. Those are all your markets.
But dude, like, yeah, I have probably 2,000 followers or 3,000 followers from India and probably like 500 from Brazil. I don't know. I can guess why, but the point is, like, why am I getting banned in those countries? You know,
you made it when.
All right. So we have a question here, and I'm pretty excited about this question. So he's a photographer, and he wants to start shooting videos alongside. What's the first step? Okay, the first step is just humble yourself and know that you're not a videographer. It's not the same thing. I'm just talking from personal experience, right?
What do you mean, Meeks? I don't understand what you mean.
as a wedding photographer, there was a time I was really busy and people kept asking for videos, and I just jumped in. And you realize that there are only certain aspects that carry over, maybe lighting, maybe composition. But video is different. You see, in photography, you're trying to capture a moment, and you are going to freeze that moment in time. Now, in video, like Brian was talking about that video portrait, you have to have that model to be in character for several seconds, not just a wink and smile and oh, I got it. No, it's a lot more planning, a lot more work, and audio is a whole different ball game. If you want to do weddings, you have to learn your audio. You have to learn how to tap audio from the DJ's desk. You have to learn how to back up your audio, mic up people, and match audio to the video. You see, all of that are stuff that you don't consider in when you are switching from photography. And finally, when I was doing video, I would have my videos to these romantic wedding videos, very bright, and one of my friends told me that your video looks like your photography, but this video needs to be toned down. The colors need to be toned down. The light needs to be toned down. That's how you tell the story much better and focus on certain areas. So you have to think about all that and take your time and learn everything from the scratch, and then you'll be good because you already have a heads up with the lenses and stuff already. So, okay.
Yeah.
The other thing, the only thing I will add is that first, take your time. Forget all your video skills. Majority of them will come into play. But you got to know that the exposure triangle, as you know it in photography, is a little bit modified for video, right? You need to understand a couple of things when you want to shoot video. In photography, we are basically concerned with aperture, shutter speed, and ISO, right? When it comes to video, you still need those three things. But on top of those three things, you need to understand frame rates, right? You need to understand how your frame rate would affect your shutter speed, right? And all of those stuff will make you a better photographer or videographer. So don't just jump in right away. Start with practice. Practice makes perfect. Right now, if you look at most of my wedding videos and even my YouTube videos, you'll see I do multicam a lot, right? And that's come with years of practice, right? Because you got to learn how to video, right? You got to learn how to sync footage from two cameras so they match up. So video can get complicated. Depends on how far you want to go. But at a minimum, you need to understand frame rates, shutter speed, ISO, that kind of stuff, the 180-degree rule. So play around. That's the best thing. Don't just start off and start shooting. But I go to the park sometimes, even up to date. I go to the park close by my house just to practice. So on any given day, I'll pick up a topic of practice. I say, maybe today I'm going out. I'm going to practice handheld video. And I'm going to go out there and I'll just pan around with my camera handheld and try to get my footage as steady as possible. I may not use that video from that session for anything. I may just bring it into Lightroom, play around with it, figure out how it goes. But that's my practice session. It helps me to grow and grow with my craft, right?
Yeah.
So in anything, you can easily get into video as long as you go in the right way with the right mindset and you have the time to practice and learn.
Yeah. What kind of videos do you want to shoot? Like,
Yes.
is it product? Is it vlogs? Is it cinematic? Also, that's
It's
kind of
man, man. Up to you. We are listening.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I would say pick a topic that you like to talk about. So if you like talking about doing street photography in your neighborhood, I would start there, or whatever the case is. But pick something that you actually, I mean, again, if it's like a talking piece. If it's not, then something else. But you just gotta start doing it. Like, there really is no magic answer. You just need to start doing it and just like follow Evan's advice and understand like the basics of video and just start kind of going at it and make like mini goals for yourself. You know, you want to make one video a month, then that's the goal.
Yep, and also one last thing. Don't forget. Don't always think that everything you do, every video you shoot is going to see the light of day, right? Paul and Brian will tell you how many times we've been out and I've tried to vlog and that vlog never comes out, right? And that's because I'm not a vlogger, right? I can sit down and review products. I can sit down and do talking heads like this. I can sit down and record tutorial videos. But when I have the camera in my hands like this and I'm walking and I'm vlogging,
It's weird,
I
man.
blank out. I don't know what I'm doing.
It's weird.
So I always shoot vlogs and they never come out. Doesn't mean that it's bad. It's practice.
Yeah, it's
right. You keep practicing, and that's it. Whenever we go out, I still do my vlog. One day that vlog may come out.
I'm waiting.
But
for
at this point,
Friday.
I don't think I'm at that point yet, right? So just keep practicing.
I'm waiting for the one from Friday.
Because I'm a photographer. When I vlog, I'm missing shots. Like, I don't like switching back and forth between vlogging and shooting. I know, Paul, I think you carry two cameras. I know you do it to some degree, but like, if I'm going to vlog, I'm going to vlog. And the thing is, like, sometimes I meet up and I'm like, okay, I'm going to vlog today. And I was like, oh, that looks really cool over there. Nah, I think I'm just going to shoot, because I know I can focus more on my shots, because at the end of the day, I'm more of a photographer than a videographer. But, you know, I do plan on doing it more. So, yeah, I don't know. I think to do both is tough, you know, and that's why I think the bigger YouTubers you see that are doing vlogs, they're not always by themselves. Even when they're shooting, they got someone else shooting. You know what I mean?
Always have help.
Yeah, they have somebody home editing old video, and you know they have teams, man. Do you guys know? Do you guys know of Mark Rober? He makes one video a month.
Yeah.
He has 14 million subscribers.
That's right, Tony.
He makes only 12 videos a year. That's it. He doesn't make any more than that. So he's very particular about what he selects, and he has an engineering background. So he makes, like, you know, all these complex squirrel puzzles and crazy stuff.
Cool.
All right. So what is the next question we have on here?
Kobe's saying we're doing an awesome job.
Thank you.
Rob is saying this one is interesting. I'm just getting to Rob has his own YouTube channel. He's got some drone stuff up.
Yeah, he does.
You know what? Paul likes using this word a lot.
Bangers.
Everything.
It is in the title. It is in the title.
Oh my goodness.
And you always hear him reading lines.
All right, so
get that tattooed, man. Tattooed. Bangers and leading.
Absolutely, it's gonna be my kid's name. My dog's name's gonna be Bangers.
Bangers and bangers and bangers and man.
Totally.
All right. One thing that I've noticed too is when most people start, they get the video and then they try to add music to it. But with time, you will learn that the music is actually the hardest part. If you get a good music and then you edit to it, it makes your life so much easier. Because guess what? If your music is 2 minutes and 2 seconds, guess how long your video is going to be? And so you already have a structure, and then you just find clips to fit in certain places. So, and then with time, even just looking at the waves of the music, you can tell when it's a drop or and it's quite
Yeah, man. I can't no.
Yeah, I edit to the
I don't
beat.
always
So
do it, but
I edit to the beat, but I don't have the music before.
oh,
I won't
well,
use the
I don't
whole
have the
song.
music before I shoot.
Yeah.
But the music is the first thing I lay on my sequence before I start putting tracks.
I find it before I start editing. Yeah. Not before shooting though. I'm not there yet.
I thought you said before shooting. Like I don't have.
No.
Before I edit, I get the music.
Before I start editing, yeah.
Yes. Before I edit.
Well, for my video portraits, I pick the song ahead of time. The songs are it's just easier that way. That way I can kind of. So I like to do like a little kind of like a board. So first we pick the song, and then from the mood I'm getting, I'm like, what do you feel like wearing? Where do you feel like going? What are we trying to portray in this video? And then kind of build off of that. But like for my other videos and my vlogs, no. Yeah, like I said, like I think you both agreed. I'll drop it into my, I'll find that song and drop it in and then go from there. But however, and this is like just to get off topic for a second, when I edit, a lot of times I edit to music, or I'll look at that photo and then I'll go to like my playlist, find one of my songs I'm thinking about, play it, and then I'll edit to that song. So sometimes you'll see I'll drop like lyrics in there from other songs and stuff, because that's why I'm listening to that song, because that's how that's what comes across in that photo to me.
The other thing is that sometimes the easiest way to do it is bring in the music, right? Every music has a rhythm. And pardon me, I have music background, so I play a lot of instruments, so I know rhythms in music. So you're basically gonna count. It's on a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. So when I bring that track into Premiere, what I'm doing is I'm playing the track, and on every fourth beat, I'm putting a marker. Right? So the track is playing, I'm putting the markers, and that's my first edit. I just drag and cut and put at the marker points. Then I go through them and figure out where, if I want to shift some of those around, and it makes my editing faster than when I'm just editing, putting down tracks before looking for music. Once you have the music down, it's faster. And sometimes I combine 3 or 4 musics in one video.
The stems, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Music,
very nice.
Music's a lot of fun. There's a question from Jim. What's the best laptop and specs for video editing? That's a loaded question.
How deep is your pocket?
I have
He's saying best. He's not saying the minimum.
The best.
Best.
Okay, then
exactly.
I want to talk about my computer. So I follow someone named Professor Hines. He's a everything photographer, I guess, but known for his street work. And he just got a custom built HP. And I remember because he posted the specs, and I thought, compared to my MacBook Pro, I thought this was an amazing computer. But when I compare his specs, I don't like PCs personally. If I recall, he got 2 1 terabyte solid state hard drives. He got an 8-core 3.06 gig processor, 64 gig of RAM, and I forgot which NVIDIA graphic card he had. So I joked with him and I said, "Oh, I'm sure that was $6,000," and he was $2,500 USD. So still a lot of damn money for a laptop, and it's got a 4K touchscreen. I'm sure whatever he built is probably, to me, that's probably top of the line. I know you could do better, and I think it's not. Chris Howe was talking. I saw one of his videos recently where they took. It's not the iMac. It's the Mac Pros or something like that. Come in the boxes, and you get those huge. I forgot what they are, curved monitors, whatever. But I think those things had like 128. Yeah, and they had like 256 gigs or something of RAM in there because they're editing all 4K videos and stuff like that. But you know, I think it was like a $15,000 or $16,000 computer.
Crazy.
So what's the best? I mean, shit. It's like if I could afford that, I'd be shooting a Hasselblad perhaps, or you know what I mean? Like
you'd be going to India.
Yeah.
So my system I don't use laptops. Well, I use a MacBook. I don't edit video off my MacBook as much. I edit photos more on my MacBook. When I'm editing video, I always edit in this space. And I use a custom built desktop that I built myself. So I bought a chassis, I bought all the parts, and I built this system myself. I spent about $1,300 on it. But I built it to my specification for 4K edits, right? And that was about a year and a half ago. And so far, it still holds up. So unless you really need that mobility of the laptop going back and forth, you get more value with a desktop.
Yep.
Than with the laptop.
I would say just use whatever you have to start if you want to start. Don't let gear
Like,
hold you back.
like, what's the best camera that you have? It's the camera that you get with.
That's the thing, right?
So, yeah, I did.
Get one of these and use your cell phone, and you still get a good shot.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Rob just mentioned. Yeah, Rob, we'll get together sometime and shoot. You know, I haven't been using a gimbal that long. I used to have what Evans just showed. I had for the cell phone. That's the longest time, the Osmo. I had the DJI Osmo Mobile. Yeah, it wasn't the one with the camera, but now I have the DJI Ronin SC. But I tell you one thing, man, and Evans, I got to use his Weeble, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, Weeble.
Man, gimbals are heavy when you got a camera and a. Like honestly, I just wanted to shoot with the wide lens the whole time and then crop in because like even the 85 was a difference, and then my zoom, forget it. Like once you set it up and you put it on there, like it's just so heavy.
Try shooting a 10-hour wedding
with a gimbal.
Your arm.
Yeah.
No, I swear I want to get like one of those the backpacks, right? With
right. Exactly. Yeah. I want one of those. Yeah.
The
I now understand them. Yeah. So
for me, I use gimbals a lot, especially when I'm doing weddings. On a wedding day, I'm just flipping between gimbal and tripod and a little bit of handheld.
Okay.
The more you use it, you get used to it.
That's true. All right. So Jim has a question here. Minimum for a beginner. So well, first off, who is Matt? Matt on YouTube. Who is Matt Johnson? He has different videos on how to set up a $600 4K editing video. You know, he gets the minimum, but they get the job done. You know, I would say at least you need 16 gigs of RAM to do any meaningful edit, so you don't waste your time, because time is money. You don't want to sit and wait for things to move. And but with that, I mean, if you have an SSD too, that would be great. You know, a small SSD in the 250 SSD and a decent processor. Evans, what would you think is a decent processor?
So
minimum.
If you're going for a laptop, look for anything with an i7 or equivalent AMD processor. For my desktop here, I'm using a Ryzen 7 2700X CPU. And then, because there's two key things for video editing. Your processor has to be fast, but also your GPU. Right? So try to find something. If you're getting a laptop, make sure it's at least a minimum an i7 or the equivalent AMD, and make sure that it has a GPU that is powerful, not just the Intel, what do you call it, the Intel HD drivers. You need to look for something that has either an NVIDIA drive graphics card of a little bit of a higher specs, because those are the two things that will drive your video edits. Whether it's you're going to spend 10 hours exporting a 5 minutes video, or you're going to export a 5-minute video in 2 minutes.
And if
it's your graphics card and your CPU.
If you're using a PC on a laptop, a lot of times it's just like if you don't want to have onboard video, because if it's onboard video,
Yeah.
right, then it's you already
if
know.
it's the onboard, you're gonna have a lot of
It's
time.
gonna be crap.
If it specifically doesn't mention the graphics card, I mean, you can Google it when you're at the store, but if it doesn't mention the graphics card, then don't bother, because most manufacturers will say something like onboard amazing graphics video. Yeah, no, it's not gonna. Your computer's not gonna handle it.
Right. And yeah.
However, there's one tip I will share. If you have a laptop and it's older, there is a workflow that I use when I'm on the road and I have to edit video on my laptop. My laptop, it's still good. I can still edit a 4K video on my laptop, but it's a little slower. So to speed it up, I use a proxy workflow. The proxy workflow is basically I take my 4K videos and then I create what we call proxy files, which are smaller, like 720p versions of that, but lower quality. So you edit with that lower quality. When you're ready to export, you just click one button in Premiere. Premiere replaces those lower quality ones with the original video and exports it out. And with that, you can pretty much get away on any crappy system. But it adds to your workflow. That's the thing.
Right. Okay, so what Rob said here, put money into graphics card, and Premiere Pro, with their recent update, they now use a lot more of the GPU. Formerly they weren't, but the DaVinci has always been doing that. So now it's actually a lot faster if you have a good graphics card, and it's not just there wasting time. And definitely look into the proxies, because even if you have a computer that cannot edit 4K, if you put a 4K, everything is like lagging, it's not moving at all. Create proxies. You can just right click and create the proxies, let it create it overnight while you sleep, and then when you wake up, your folders will be ready to go and it will be a smooth edit. So that's,
and you can do all of that right within Premiere Pro.
Right.
All the apps, DaVinci has it, Premiere has it, I believe Final Cut has it as well. So
you guys should do a video on that. How to create a proxy.
Evans, that's your lane, man. There are too many videos out there. Let me tell you, I'm not motivated to make any videos, man.
This video was made through proxy.
All right, guys. Looks like we're ready to start wrapping up. All right. Do we have any other questions in the comments? Going once, going twice. Come on, guys.
Give us the hard one. Colby, give us
a hard one. Yeah, give us a hard one. Come on.
You said
we have a good.
So I see Rob Brand saying that he has the Osmo Pocket but used it twice.
That's what happens. Those gear people.
I have the Osmo Pocket sitting here somewhere. I've used it a couple of times. The main reason why I don't use it is because the audio on that thing is terrible.
Okay. I remember when you bought it, you were like, "This is going to be my vlogging camera. I'm going to do a lot of vlogs."
Yes.
And then I
vlogged the first time with it, the audio was very crappy. The only thing is that I if I plug in the external mic, then the audio, but it defeats my whole purpose of having something small.
Yeah.
I only use it for B-roll shots right now because it has the gimbal built in and it's really smooth footage and it's 4K. So I use it sometimes for B-roll shots when I want to do 4K 60 B-roll. But outside of that, it's sitting somewhere in my GoPro case.
Okay. Rob says he has the automated charging case. He has. Yeah, he fixed it there, right there. All right. So Kobe said one question. I guess he's typing the question. All right.
Kobe's
gonna start the gear one.
Yeah, that's a good one, Kobe.
You're getting into it now, Kobe. You're gonna get into it now.
So
they're all great.
They're all great. A couple of, if you asked me this question a year ago, right, I would definitely tell you stay away from Nikon for video. But since the introduction of the Z6 and they all went mirrorless, Nikon is doing really good on video side. Sony still have the edge though, in terms of being able to, well, for like say for regular YouTubers, everything is okay, it's the same. But when you want to get into the technical stuff, like shooting in log profiles, and some of the focus assist features that you get, Sony still have the edge. But at the end of the day, right now, all of the camera manufacturers are doing really great. Canon, Nikon, you can't go wrong with any of those for video.
If someone gave me a Canon, what do you call that? One of the new Canon mirrorlesses, for free, I'd be shooting Canon right now. If Meeks gave me a Nikon Z6, I'd be shooting Nikon.
Yep.
It is
all I would say to you that if you want to shoot video, please don't go get a DSLR. Get yourself a mirrorless camera.
Yeah, 100% mirrorless.
Well, I think Rob thinks otherwise.
Disposable if is all you have.
I don't know if they make video cameras in disposable format.
You can use your phone. You can use your phone to make a video. Don't let your gear hold you back. You can use your phone.
ISO is almost a non-issue nowadays. Correct.
That's true. That's true.
I've shot videos at 3200 ISO, 1600 ISO, even 12,600 ISO.
Yeah,
not an issue anymore.
I posted a picture in a photography group, and then you have to put the stats. So I put the stats, and somebody was heckling me in the comment session. Go learn your exposure triangle. Why are you using ISO 400 in broad daylight? And I'm like, look, my camera can shoot ISO 10,000, and you wouldn't know if I didn't tell you it was ISO 10,000.
Yep.
And if you are shooting models and time, sometimes you just gotta keep going. And that range, I have a range for my ISO during the day up to 800. I don't mind. If I'm in a shade and I have to bump it up, I don't mind at all, because it's not a problem. But you don't have to be too technical these days, because just like Rob said in the comments, the cameras have improved so much that you should concentrate on composition and getting a good picture, and not worry about that. Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
Somebody's asking, does DSL lenses fit with mirrorless cameras? Yes. Yes.
An adapter,
and if you look behind me, I have about 20 of them sitting there. That's all I use for my videos these days, when it's not something that I need autofocus. And they are a cheap and inexpensive way of getting into video. I have a couple of videos on my channel on using vintage lenses for video. You can check them out, but these lenses are so inexpensive, so cheap, and they do awesome. They add some kind of character to your video because of the fact that they're so old and vintage. The rendering is a little more different from all the digital lenses, right? They give your video a unique look. So check them out. Don't be shy. You can get adapters for $40, $50 to convert any to, especially if you're shooting Sony. Sony takes almost all of them, right? There's adapters to go to Sony for almost every old lens that you can have. I have adapters for Minolta, a bunch of them, and I use them to shoot video mainly if I'm behind the camera.
Yep.
All right, guys.
Make it happen.
Final words. We're gonna go Paul, Brian, and Evans.
Yeah, it's a great discussion. I think there's a lot to learn with video. I think, again, I mean, if people here are just starting out, I would just say, just start with something that you want to either talk about or film. Like, don't feel pressured into making something that's popular on YouTube. Try to make something that's your own, because I think people respond to that. So don't feel pressure to make something that's, in the now. And I don't know. Again, it's just like, it's so important just to have fun and just enjoy the process, because the more times, like, if you have fun, you're more inclined to do it the next day, and so on and so forth. So that's kind of my pitch on that. And thanks everyone for the questions. I love the questions because it makes it much more engaging and a lot more fun, I think, with all the questions. So thanks so much. Really, really appreciate it. And make sure you like this video. And subscribe to Meeks' channel.
And everyone else.
All of our channels about Meeks since he's hosting.
Yeah, that was everything I was going to say. Just like and subscribe, show your support, ring that bell so you don't miss any future videos.
Crush the bell. Wait for the proxy video.
Well, if that's what you're into. And yeah, that's it. Thanks, guys. It was fun.
Yep. So I see Kim is asking if it's the old film ones. Yes, the old film lenses like these, right? You can adapt them for video. These
they're very cheap.
I buy them for $20-$25 off on Kijiji and stuff. You get a lot of them. So in conclusion, guys, don't be afraid to venture into video. Don't be afraid to play around and try new things. It's always fun. The whole idea is have fun, learn with it, enjoy what you do, and it will always be fun, right? And that's the whole deal.
Yeah. 100%.
All right. Well, thank you guys for being here today. It looks like people actually like the video topic. You guys, are you guys tired of photography or what?
I think they're tired.
Let us know. So we might have to do a few more video centric shows. Yeah, video centric shows just to keep things balanced a little bit. All right. So thank you guys for being here, and we'll see you next week on one of these three guys' channel. I don't know who is Brian. Okay, it's Brian's turn. All right. Okay. Stay blessed and keep creating, guys.
Have a great evening.
All right.